Hi, everyone. Welcome to the UCSD Virtual Triton Day Talks. Um, we have a panel of students here from Eleanor Roosevelt College, and we're so excited to share with you a bit more about ERC and about UCSD, and to answer some of the most frequently asked questions for you all. Before we start, we just want to say that although we know the goal of the UC system is to return to learn in person as much as possible by fall 2021, we're also still unsure of what that's going to look like. So we're going to try and give really holistic answers that give you an idea of all the possibilities for what being a Triton might look like next year, since things are always changing. So first, we're going to take a minute to have everyone on the panel introduce themselves. My name's Clara. I'm a third year. I'm an orientation intern, and I'm involved in Ellie's Garden at ERC and in the jazz ensemble at ERC, and obviously in orientation. And next, we will hop over to Emily.
Hi everyone, my name is Emily and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm a third year majoring in International Studies Economics with a minor in business. Here at UCSD, I'm involved in student council, judicial board, and planning at ERC, aka PERC.
Hi, my name is Greg. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm a fourth year majoring in data science with a minor in cognitive science. And here at UCSD, I'm a resident advisor and I'm also involved with the Triton Tide, UCSD's official student section.
Hi, my name is Davey, and my pronouns are he, him, his. I'm a second-year general bio major and business minor students. Here at UCSD, I'm involved in the Cooking Hub and also the ERC orientation programs as a senior orientation leader.
And hi everyone, my name is Brianna. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a fourth year majoring in human developmental sciences and minoring in math education. And here at UCSD, I'm involved in Eleanor Roosevelt College residence life as their senior RA.
Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. So nice to meet you. So now we're going to start off with asking some questions about the college system. So Emily, what is the college system at UC San Diego?
So there are 7 different colleges at UC San Diego, each with a different philosophy. So ERC, our philosophy is developing world citizens through scholarship, leadership, and service. And the 7 college system is really used to facilitate a smaller community setting within the larger UCSD campus. Each college has its own academic advising, student affairs, counseling and psychological services staff, eateries, residence halls, all in one area. Each college does have a slightly different atmosphere. For example, ERC is very internationally focused, and we do house a lot of international students in the part of ERC known as I House or International House. This is unique to any other college because we're really exposed to a lot of different cultures and customs, which really helps us truly develop a global mindset. A question that a lot of incoming students do have is whether or not the major fits requirements. Um, for example, a lot of engineering majors may think that they don't belong here, but they do. All of us on the panel are different majors, but we are in Eleanor Roosevelt College and we coexist just fine. If you choose to live on campus, you will be in the dorms and the residence halls with different majors, and that adds to your rounded experience, just again, like developing a different global mindset. Regardless of your college and your major, you will have an academic plan so you can graduate in 4 years and everyone will get one. If you're undeclared or you choose to change your major halfway through, you won't need to change your college and you won't have to take additional general education requirements. Each college does have a different set of general education requirements meant to explore the college philosophy, and each with a college-specific writing course. For ERC, that course is Making of the Modern World, and we'll get into that later.
Thank you so much, Emily. There you have it, everyone. So the next thing we're going to ask Brianna about is, if a first year chooses to live on campus, what should they expect, and how does this look different now than it has in the past?
Good question, Clara. Prior to the pandemic, for students who chose to live on campus, most first years living in ERC would be in a residence hall, or as we call it for short, res hall. Generally, in a res hall, there are 8 suites. So in like a building, there would be 8 suites, and then in each suite, there would be generally 5 or 6 bedrooms and a large bathroom with multiple showers, toilets and sinks, and then the res hall would have a common area which has a kitchen, not furnished with like pans and stuff, and a lounging area. Most bedrooms house 3 residents, so we call that a triple. And so there are usually 15 to 16 students in one suite. And it might seem like a lot, especially if you are used to having your own room. But in my experience, I really loved living in a res hall and I would do it again. My first year, I lived in a triple, which means I shared one room with 2 other girls. And it was such an amazing experience, though it sounds crazy, but it was fun. I loved living in such close quarters with 16 other girls because I had an RA in my suite. And it's unlike any other experience I've had in my life. But I was able to make memories that I hold on to I hold on to this day. Even the simple moments were made more special because of my sweet mates there. Things like getting dinner and getting ready in the morning were made more fun because I had my sweet mates around me. And it also helped me not feel homesick. One of my roommates actually ended up being one of my best friends. And though rare, some first years are placed in an ERC apartment. So that means you would be having either a single or a mini double bedroom, which is like a bedroom designated for one person, but 2 people share it, and then it's like lower in cost. Apartments also have a bathroom, a kitchen, and a living area. And there are generally 4 to 6 students living in an apartment. And students do not have a choice between residence halls or apartments. So you cannot petition to request a specific space. However, since dealing with the pandemic, on-campus housing has looked a little different, though it is still totally happening. As of winter quarter 2021, all dorms are restricted to single occupancies for their rooms. Currently, all singles, there are no doubles or triples as of now. You will, however, still have suite mates anywhere from 2 to 7, depending on if you're in a suite or in an apartment. And no visitors are currently allowed in suites. And upon moving or returning to campus, you must self-quarantine for 14 days and be tested on the 1st, 5th, and 10th day. A negative result from the 10th day test allows you to end sequestration. I hope I said that right. If you receive a positive test, the school will contact you about isolation housing. And on campus, a mask must be worn at all times with the exception of eating, exercising, or being in your apartment. No matter where you live, each student has a bed, desk, and chair, and closet. Oh, and they provide trash cans too. The key to living with other people in your room is communication. So first, communicate over the summer who is going to bring what. When you get on campus, you'll want to communicate living preferences, including cleanliness, sleep schedules, music, guests, and study habits. And the RAs will facilitate a formal conversation about this, but feel free to talk about it amongst yourselves first. There is Wi-Fi on the entire campus, so you will be able to use that for everything. And each building has 2 live-in resident advisors, or RAs. RAs are students that oversee the general well-being of those who live in their building. They help facilitate a safe and welcoming community. They put on community building events, study breaks, create newsletters of the upcoming week's events and programs, and they are there for you if you have any questions or concerns. There are also custodial staff members that clean the common areas of suites and apartments. They come to the res halls every day, every weekday, and apartments once a week, and they are amazing. If we are no longer limited to single occupancy housing in the fall and you want to share a room with another incoming student who is also in ERC, you can make the request online during the summer. In order to be placed together, both students need to request each other. Finally, there are no curfews on campus. However, there are quiet hours. So on weekdays, Sunday through Thursday by 11 p.m. And on weekends, so Friday and Saturday by 1 a.m., you're expected to quiet down just so your fellow students can get some rest and can study. You don't need to check in or out with anybody if you're going anywhere. Just be sure to communicate with your roommates when you leave and when they should expect you back. Additionally, there are full-time staff, residential security officers are what we call it, that patrol all residential areas at night.
All right, so our next question is going to be directed to Greg. So Greg, what is a normal day on campus like? How do students do everyday things like laundry, get food, and study? And how has this changed in the light of COVID? What stayed the same?
And so on my own, I have a kind of like routine. Pre-COVID, there's just a lot more walking to classes, of course. And I would definitely get more food on the go. So utilizing our dining halls and our price center, just because it was like a lot more like fast paced, I feel like, and all my meetings were all in person. So with that, I had to like kind of go around campus a lot more. So now during COVID, a lot of actually all my classes and meetings have been online. So with that, it's kind of giving me a little bit more time that I can cook at my own apartment now, which is really nice. But I'm also utilizing a lot of campus resources still that are keeping me active. So like there's still like tennis classes and like swimming, and so I can utilize all of that still during this time. And so for those living on campus, here are some information about how you can do like some of your everyday chores. So laundry is available to all residents. We have 2 laundry centers at ERC, and you can utilize any of those. You can buy groceries at the market on our campus using our dining dollars, or you can even just get fully prepared meals at our campus dining halls or at Price Center. Price Center, however, does not take dining dollars. Putting it out there. And there are 13 dining halls on campus, and we don't have the swipe buffet system like other universities. So we're trying to like not get freshman 15. We have a dining dollar program that is like a debit card essentially. So you pay for what you order. You can use our Triton to Go app to pre-order food if you know what you want. And currently, due to COVID, all of our dining halls are still open. However, all of our interactions are done through the Triton to Go app just to minimize contact and spread. And if you don't have a dining plan, you could still go to and use the dining halls, but you just need to create an account using the Triton to Go app. And so my favorite places to get food on campus is definitely the Bistro, which is our neighboring college 7th. It's a good like 2-3 minute walk. It's my like workout for the day. And Cafe Ventanas. And there's also markets all around campus where you can just get coffees, snacks, and fruits and so on.
Can you also talk a bit about some places that students can study on campus?
Yeah, so I think probably the most popular place to study on campus is our main library, Theater Geisel Library. It's open to the and their modified hours during the weekend and finals week, with a space on the second floor that's for the all-nighters. So it's open 24/7. There are a lot of study rooms that could be reserved beforehand, and there are a lot of also comfortable couches on every floor. The biomedical library is also another popular option, but in general is a lot less crowded than Geisel. And like Geisel, there are a lot of computers available that you can just unlock with your student account. And it's a great like place that's closer if you're like living in Ravel or in that area. There's always good slant in the day. It's a really pretty part of campus too. And also every college has a commuter lounge, and most of them are equipped with microwaves if you need to rehab your lunch. And there are also study spaces in Price Center, which are open 24/7, and the computers over there are available for students. However, in the midst of COVID, many of these spaces haven't been available for studying like they used to. However, everyone on campus has Wi-Fi, and La Jolla generally has really good weather to be outdoors. And additionally, the campus has made some really great specific outdoor study spaces with furniture that are set up under tents that are available to a limited number of students that are first come, first served from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. And masking and social distancing like requirements do apply, of course.
Thank you so much, Greg. Awesome. So my next question is going to be directed to Davy. So Davy, what ways can incoming students get involved, make friends, and create a social life for themselves?
Okay, so one of the easiest way is through your colleges. As we all know, the college system at UCSD is truly one of a kind. Your college is your inner circle, and it is the first place you will get to know other people at UCSD. UCSD is rigorous, and we totally acknowledge that. But there are plenty of social opportunity exist, as long as you just seek them out. And here's an example. Even before your first quarter at UCSD, there are your orientation and the welcome weeks. During those time, there are tons of activities every minute. And one advice I will give is just don't be afraid to be the first one to say hi to other people. Last year, we did the welcome week totally virtually. and it was really a great time. So regardless what is the current circumstances, we will make sure those opportunities are available for you. Additionally, most people get to know their core group of friends through the people they live with or through the student orgs they are participating in. For me, I lived on campus my first year at UCSD, and among the 8 suite mates I lived with, 3 of them come from the Bay Area where I attended high school, and 2 of them I come from the same province where I spent a major part of my life living back in China. So with those shared experience, we became good friends, and we even remained good friends after we all moved home after COVID. This is just one instance where I got to meet and befriend great people on campus. There are also a lot of student orgs and clubs that are still fully operating online, and they are trying hard to find really cool and creative way to keep students engaged. Students can also find great resources through ECHO or Eddie's Community Hub online. They send out weekly newsletter to students' UCSD email, where students can check for virtual event, like other resources available on campus, or just general tips on wellness and strategy on how to ace your classes in this remote learning environment. We also suggest you to create a class group chat on the first day of lecture. That way you can get to know your peer better. An example through Discord. It is also a really great way for you to build connection with your fellow classmates. And that's mostly what I had to say about social life at UCSD. There's just tons of opportunities that's here waiting to be discovered and explored by you all.
Thank you so much, Davey. Yeah, Discord, there's like a Discord chat for every class that I'm in. It's really booming right now. Okay, so next, back to Emily. So we want to ask you, ERC specific, what can you tell us about the quarter system, classes, and the making of the modern world sequence?
That's a great question. So UCSD is on the quarter system, which is actually 3 quarters during the academic year, and then 1 optional summer quarter. Each quarter is 11 weeks, so it's 10 weeks of classes and then a finals week at the end. This is a lot different and much faster than the 15-week semester system that a lot of colleges do go with. Although the quarter system can feel pretty fast-paced at times, I personally really enjoy the fact that we're able to take so many different courses and really expand our knowledge on many different subject areas, as well as enhance our knowledge with our major classes. Most students take around 3 to 4 classes each quarter, which is about 12 to 16 units. The first couple of years you start mainly with GEs and some introductory major courses, and then progress towards the higher level courses towards your last 2 years. Contrary to high school, my schedule has been pretty spaced out in college. I usually only have anywhere from 2 to 3 classes a day, and I focus the rest of my time on study groups and homework and any clubs that I'm involved in. Just to talk a little bit about our writing sequence, MMW, it stands for Making of the Modern World. It's a history-based, writing-intensive series of 5 classes designed for students of all majors. It integrates writing and scientific developments throughout time, and most courses end with a historical research paper on a topic of your choice, so you can write about whatever interests you. A lot of people underestimate the value of learning to write well and put together a convincing argument, but this skill is important regardless of your major. And additionally, I've heard that a lot of professors in other classes say that ERC students often get better grades in their writing because of MMW, and being a science major who can communicate effectively is a skill that will put you over the top when searching for employment. And your MMW classes, another perk to that is that it's only ERC students, so it's a great way to build a community and meet other ERC students.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily. I made some of my first friends in MMW, so there you go. And we have another question for Bree. So Bree, what types of resources and support does UCSD offer? And what have these looked like online?
Another good question, Clara. There are many different resources available for free to all students, and these are actually paid for by your student fees, so I encourage you to use them. There are academic support resources offered, So there are tutoring in some specific math, science, and foreign languages. There is writing assistance at the Writing Hub in Geisel Library, and they are so helpful. One of the tutors actually helped me edit my statement of purpose for grad school, and she helped make my paper 1,000 times better. So I highly recommend that you use that resource. You can also meet with professors or teaching assistants during their office hours to discuss course material, and this is also super helpful. We also have the Career Center, and they can help with things like resumes, cover letter writing, finding internships, and research opportunities both on and off campus. And they also host career fairs every quarter to get you connected with future employers. There are also community and identity-based resources, such as the Women's Resource Center, Black Student Resource Center, Raza Resource Centro, LGBT Resource Center, among others. These centers provide a safe space for all students, and we put on events catered, sorry, and they put on events catered to their specific populations. We pride ourselves in having great resources for those with basic needs as well. This resource is called the Hub, and it includes resources for food insecurity, financial wellness, and housing stability. For example, all students are able to select fresh produce and packaged goods each week throughout the year at the Triton Food Pantry, again at no cost. The food pantry is actually still open and available to students, and all the other resource centers continue to provide their resources virtually. Personally, my two favorite resource centers during my time at UCSD have been the Sustainability Resource Center. Their Instagram account is at SSCUCSD, and I love the events they put on. They are so informative, and I've honestly learned so much from them. And my other favorite resource center is the Zone, and their Instagram is at UCSD Zone, ZONE, and they're so good at promoting student wellness and student well-being. They have tips on how to live healthier, happier lifestyle. And when they are in person again, hopefully one day, and if there are bean bags there, I highly recommend that you take a nap from the bean bag. So good. ERC also offers academic advising in various organizations to ensure the best student experience possible. And your major departments will also be a great resource to help you plan your major related courses throughout your time here.
Thank you, Bree, and we love those shout outs. They're great resources on campus. Awesome. So, Emily, another question for you. Many students and their families are concerned about safety, health, and wellness on campus. Can you explain what resources our campus has to ensure students' well-being?
Yeah, so as for physical safety, we are ranking as a top school in safety. Just a little fun fact, the National Council for Home Safety and Security ranked us as one of the safest colleges in the United States. We also have something called a blue light system. So if you are feeling uncomfortable or notice anything suspicious at any point in time, you can go ahead and hit the blue light to notify UCPD, and police will get there in 90 seconds when that blue light is hit. As far as UCPD, we do have our own police department, and they know the campus and they can respond to specific locations that students would be at if there is an emergency. At night, we do offer something called Triton rides with community service officers and escorts and campus safety officers. So that runs from sunset to 4 a.m. daily, and there is a shuttle service within 1 mile off of campus. Associated Student Safe Rides is another good option. I do $10 free Lyft rides every quarter. And as far as just enhancing that safety, we do get something called Triton alerts. So we get texts for anything, and so do our parents if you choose to give them access to that. And now with COVID, a system is in place to send out emails whenever the virus has been detected in the wastewater from any on-campus building. And there's always police and security to patrol our campus and ensure student safety. So just a little about student health and insurance. You have to have some sort of health insurance. So it's known as SHIP, Student Health Insurance Plan, or your own or your parents' insurance that you have to be on. You have to sign a waiver to opt out of UC SHIP if you do have your own insurance. And even if you have off-campus insurance, you can still access campus resources either way. We have a really unique system which has a 24-hour nurse hotline, regardless of your insurance carrier. And student health building is at the center of campus. So, and UCSD really prioritizes mental health. We have something known as counseling and psychological services, also known as CAPS. And This is in each college as well as the center of campus, and it has a 24-hour crisis call line, self-help resources, and you can book appointments to speak with a therapist. Another really cool resource is the Zone, which offers therapy fluffies, yoga, and quiet study spaces. And as far as gyms, we do have two main gyms, REMAC, which is right next to ERC, so that's really convenient, and the rec center, which has an indoor and outdoor pool, rock climbing wall, and 3 levels of sports you can commit to.
Thank you so much, Emily. All right, for our next question, we're going to ask Davy. Can you tell us a bit about transportation options, such as getting around on campus, getting off campus, and parking on campus?
Yes, definitely. Okay, so I will start by talking about ways to get around campus. So there are campus shuttle to get around campus. It is free for all students. It comes about every 30 minutes, and you can check the status of the shuttle and the live location of the shuttle using the UC San Diego app. Other options to get around campus includes electric scooters, where you can find everywhere on campus, and you can utilize them by using their respective app. Biking is also another great option. You can either use your own bike or ones on campus that you can rent. The campus is quite big. For me, I have my own electric scooters that I used to get around campus every day. It really freed me from working too much, but you just need to remember to wear a helmet. Okay, so there are also many ways to get off campus, including the MTS buses. All enrolled students can take the MTS buses for free using their student pass that is renewed every quarter on the Campus Cloud app. There is also a UCSD shuttle that takes you to grocery store like Ralph's, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, and it also takes you to some specialty stores such as Edgemart, 99 Ranch, and Food for Less every Saturday and Sunday, and they also comes every 30 minutes. If you want to go further, like to the LA areas or anywhere along the coast between La Jolla and LA, you can take the coaster train. They have discounted student rate and their schedule is fairly convenient. For a student living off campus, in the surrounding area, the MTS buses also serve UCSD regularly. And they are a very popular option for students commuting from nearby. There are also a few zip cards on campus where you can rent the car by hour to do whatever errand you need to do. So lastly, I will talk about parking. First-year students living on campus cannot purchase a parking permit, but there are some exceptions for first-year living off campus who has to commute from a distance, or for students with other special academic, work, or family care commitments. But those exceptions require applications to get a permit. Each student is allowed 10 free weekend parking pass per quarter. If your parents, families, or friends want to come visit you, they could either buy a visitor parking permit or they can use one of your 10 free pass. And parents and families are always welcome on campus anytime. And with all these options, your transit at UCSD will be made super easy and convenient. And that's what I have to say about transportation.
Great. Thank you, Davy. Many options, like all of this. So we're down to our final question. Greg, could you talk a little bit about some aspects of the Return to Learn program at UCSD that are important for students to be aware of?
Yeah, so we didn't know our Return to Learn program is a nationally recognized program. If you didn't check us out on the New York Times yet, definitely go check that out and then come back to this video. So the UC goal is to be back in person by fall 2021. That's definitely the goal. We're trying and hoping for that. However, in the meantime, we are having various precautions that are taken. So with current COVID precautions, testing is available and free for all students living on campus and our community partners. So even if you're a student off campus or you're a staff member, you can still get tested for free. You can schedule a appointment at our Price Center, which is like a do-it-yourself kind of thing, or through a drive-through appointment, or you can also even do a self-administered test at one of our vending machines, which is like super cool. You just scan like your packet with like an app, and then they can trace it back to you, and it's like super, super, super cool, high tech, the COVID test of the future. I mean, all students are reporting to campus on every single day. They must have a daily screening symptom tracker check, and they have to have a green thumb, which essentially says that you have no symptoms, no contact with other people, and you have I think gotten tested in COVID compliance. So right now, currently, the campus requires us to get tested every single week. So if you weren't getting tested every single week, you would not get a green thumb. And the university is also utilizing wastewater detection to try to prevent the spread of COVID. And so any student on campus who does test positive on COVID is required to enter isolation housing for 14 days. And food and all the other necessities are provided in that time. Regarding vaccines, we do have a super vaccine center on our campus at REMAC. And currently the vaccine is given to our priority groups based on our federal and state guidelines. And when you are eligible for the vaccine, you will receive an invitation through the My UCSD chart, which is like our health start chart, and you can make an appointment there. And so classes, although most of the classes are being taught online, the university is currently offering 10% of its courses in person in outdoor classrooms. There's these really, really huge tents are socially distanced. They're super cool. So if you all have like somehow in the area, definitely check it out. And we'll probably put pictures somewhere too of it. And the university is also always in frequent contact with other students about COVID-19 policy and news and updates. Generally, we get like at least like a every other day, every 3 days kind of thing about what's going on within our COVID-19 policies.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Greg. So yeah, that includes our frequently asked question session. Thank you so much to our panelists for being here, and for all you prospective Tritons. We're excited to meet you and to have you at our school. And if you have any other questions, we have a lot of resources online that we will have linked in the description. So feel free to check those out, and thank you for watching.